So before you can install the spin cast lining, you have to prepare two hoses, one for the epoxy and one for the hardener, and they are attached to a stiff rod that actually has a cable inside, and the cable is attached to a machine that can rotate various pieces of equipment. In this case, since you're lining a pipe, it's going to be rotating a series of brushes um, in inside the pipe while the two parts of this epoxy are pumped in individually and get mixed right in the pipe. So that's the pump you're looking at down there. You got the part A and part B epoxies on the top of it, and it's going to pump those in at various rates through those nozzles. And first, they're going to prime the hoses so that once you turn on the pump when it's inside the pipe, there won't be air coming out the hoses. The next step is to attach the brushes to both hoses. And after that, the rotating cable is going to be attached to the brushes. And once the rotating cable's been attached, everything's going to be secured together. Now, what you're looking at, that yellow cable is a camera. And the camera is going to be looking at the brushes live while the resin is being applied to the inside of the pipe. That way, the person installing the lining can make sure that the resin is uniform and it's covered all of the pipe. And the resin will be applied in two layers. In this video, you won't see it, but there is usually a gray layer installed first and then a white layer. And by the time that's completely installed, it's about 3 millimeters thick, just like cured in place pipe lining. So now he's attaching the camera to the hoses and to the rotating cable that's inside of that thick black sleeve that you can see at the top of all the cables right now. The cable is attached to a miller. There's a mini miller, a small version of a machine that can rotate the cable, and a maxi miller. So now he's lowering the brushes, the camera, and the hoses into the pipe. And he's going to push, before he turns on the pump, he's going to push the camera and this whole contraption, the video, the hoses, the cable, everything to the furthest end of the pipe that's going to be lined. And then he's going to turn on the pump and turn on the rotating cable using the miller machine. So the miller machine is in the left side of the picture over there. It's that red machine. It rotates the cable inside that thick plastic sleeve. So everything gets pushed to the end of the pipe, then the pumps get turned on, then the cable starts rotating, which spins the brushes, and it'll uniformly apply the epoxy to the inside of the pipe. And repeat this process twice, like I mentioned. First with a gray layer, and then with a white layer. And then the reason they're different colors is so that if you don't apply the white layer sufficiently, you'll be able to see the gray layer underneath. And once this epoxy is being installed, it is the same exact epoxy with the same benefits as cured in place pipelining epoxy. It's just as inert and just as strong. The old cast iron pipe in this case, just like with cured in place pipelining, the old cast iron can corrode, it can disappear. This is now a load bearing pipe. And here is the same exact cast iron pipe cut cross-sectionally to show you how thick the lining is, and that the lining is not merely a coating, it is actually a physical pipe inside of the old pipe.